What's going on YouTube? It's Brazen back here with another video for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys want to hit a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new here, and leave a comment letting me know you subscribe so I can welcome you to the family. And that being said, cue intro. What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another Madden 20 video for you guys. Here today I'm going to be showing you how to complete the greatest hits of the color smash. So like I have said before in my other videos, but there's 16 of them, so I'm going to do 8 in this video, and then I'll do 8 in a part 2, and then I'll do the same thing for volume 2 because I believe there will be 16 in there as well. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So I will stop at what's new bangle in this video. So you might be looking for part 2, you might be looking for this video, but we're going to go ahead and get into this one first. You need to get 2 user tackles, don't allow yards, score 10 plus points. So first thing you're going to want to do is get those 2 user tackles, and then you will move on and go ahead and do the rest of it. The reason I split it into 8 and 8 is because of the fact 16 in one video. Even if you did each challenge in 1 minute, it would be 16 minutes, and definitely each one's going to take at least 2 to 3 if not more. So you definitely want to I wanted to split them, that way each video is not, or one video is not 50 minutes long. You know, these challenges probably will take you probably like an hour or 2 to complete, in my opinion. Like all of them, probably more like closer to 2 hours. It depends on how fast you can complete them, but just with loading screens and like that, they do take a while. So right here, like we said, we need 2. We can score 1 touchdown right here, but before we score another touchdown, we need 2 tackles. So it's actually not hard to do it in a sense, but you know, it does take some, I guess, like luck, you can say. Not necessarily luck, but you just do need to have some good skill and run this the right play. So right here, we're going to score our 7th point, and then basically all you need to do is kick a field goal to go ahead and get all of the rest of it done. But we need those tackles first, so we're going to try to get one on the kickoff. So we need user tackles. So what I'm going to do is sky kick it right here, and we're going to try to get a user tackle first, and then that way we would only need 1. So we're going to go ahead and run and move him out of the way. And I don't think we switched on in time. Actually, we might have. So we actually did get that switch on in time, and it does give us that tackle. But you want to basically get that user tackle right there. And then you need a user tackle, but it could be a sack as well. So I'm going to use Ryan Shazier just because I think it might be a run. And basically, you just want to keep switching on to people and see if you can get it. So right there, it does give me that user tackle again. And now we can go ahead and go base block right because we know we have both the user tackles. And then we can get a pick 6 because it's 10 plus points. It doesn't have to be 10 exactly, obviously. So we do get that pick right there. And Troy runs really weirdly, but I think we're still going to be able to get here. And we're going to get inside. And boom, just like that. That should be all 5 stars. So once it loads in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we can move on to the second one, which is complete 12 passes this quarter. Perform 3 user catches and don't throw an interception. So it's not necessarily hard to do. It's just a little bit time consuming because you do have to complete a lot of passes, and you will run out of room. So you may have to score a touchdown depending on how lucky you can get with some of these passes. You definitely want to try to dump it down as much as possible and get 3-4 yards per play, because if you don't have to get 2 possessions, that would be ideal. But you do have to make sure you get those user catches as well, which it's just as long as it actually calculates it as a user catch. That's the only issue with user catches sometimes, is even though you might get a user catch, it doesn't actually calculate it. So we need 3 of those out of the 12 passes completed. And just don't throw an interception. You can throw incomplete passes. So we start on the 25. So we could technically do this without scoring a touchdown. So right here, levels Y corner. Basically, I'm going to throw to Le'Veon every time I can. So right here, we're going to throw to Le'Veon. We're going to hold square right there, and hopefully they calculate. I'm not going to hurry up just because I want to see if they calculate them. I want to make sure I get those user catches first. Then we can hurry up and just do, normal catches. So right here, I'm going to throw it to Le'Veon once again. I'm just going to continue to dump it to Le'Veon if I can. So I'm holding square for that catch and run right away, but you can hold whatever you want. If you wanted to hold like possession catch, you could. So that does count it as a user catch. Right here, I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm just holding square as soon as I throw it. I switch on and then I'm holding square. So right there, boom, we get all 3 user catches done. So we're gonna go ahead and just check it out. So we know we're gonna need 9 more completed passes without an interception. So we do have a lot of room to work with now, which is good because now I'm pretty confident I'll just throw whatever pass is open, which Le'Veon's still pretty much open every time, but you don't have to even have users, which is good. So if you get 3-4 yards, that's totally fine. And now I'll hurry up as well because I know all I need is these catches. So he's gonna blitz right there. We'll dump it down to Juju, let him get that possession catch, and then we'll hurry it up. So there, you also run out of time just because it is the 4th quarter. Luckily, we do get timeouts and things like that, so I'm not worried about necessarily running out of time, but you are on a time crunch. So right here, we're just going to continue to dump it down and get our yards, hurry up, and how many is that? So that is 7. We still need 5 more. So right here, they probably will blitz us with the linebackers. And no, they don't actually blitz, even though it is man, but that's okay. Juju still gets it. And if you complete short passes, you should be fine on yardage. I would definitely advise don't go past, like 5-6 yards per catch, especially in the beginning. Give yourself room. That way towards the end, if you want to or need to, you can kind of go a little bit further. So right here, boom, catch it underneath. And then 2 more. So it looks like they're going to blitz, but they probably won't. They'll probably back out of it. They actually do blitz, so it's fine. We dump it down to Juju. So now we have a lot of room to work with on this last catch. Just make sure, like I said, you don't throw a pick. Don't throw it into coverage because there's nothing about incompletion. So if you need to take an incompletion or maybe just scramble with your quarterback and throw it away, it's way better than having to restart the whole mission. So right here, boom, all 5. So right here, rush for 120 yards this half, score a passing touchdown, and don't allow more than 3 points. So it's not hard to do, but once again, it is a little bit time consuming. You're going to want to get as many rushing yards on this play as possible, but you're not going to want, or on this drive, but you're not going to want to score a rushing touchdown. Make sure you get a passing touchdown on this drive. No matter what, that's going to be the most important because if you get 120 rushing yards before you get the touchdown, obviously it won't count it and it'll just screw it up again. So once it loads in here, we're going to want to just break a long run, get down close to the goal line, score a passing touchdown, and then get the ball back and do it, and get the rushing yards. So right here, 120 yards. We're going to be 75 yards from the end zone, I believe, off the bat. So we'll probably get about like 70-ish rushing yards on the first drive. And actually, we're going to start on defense. So we're going to go ahead and go right here. And we're just going to switch it since it is the first quarter. We can get the ball back pretty simply. The issue we have is we want to run backwards because we want to get as much rushing yards as we can. And luckily, Troy actually breaks that tackle right there, which is super beneficial. So we're going to go inside like the 10-yard line. I'm not going to go too close. 90 yards is definitely good enough. So I'm going to run single back deuce close. Just, like I always say, I always run inside zone usually just because I'm not too worried about it. But I'm just been running this because it's a better play probably for the average player with a decent team. So I just hit a double juke right there. We hit another juke. And like I said, don't score a rushing touchdown. We need a passing touchdown. So I'm going to run out at literally like the 2-yard line. And we see right there, we already have 89 out of 120. So we only need 31 rushing yards. That's no big deal. So we need a pass. You can run whatever you want on the goal line. Usually my favorite pass is just gun empty base flex like this just because it's easy to read. But we need a passing touchdown, right? So if you don't like the read, you could just call timeout if you wanted to. So I thought I could fit that in there right behind him, but he kind of got glitched a little bit. But I didn't personally like that play or their defensive assignment on it. Like right here, I like that Juju, I think, will come off of it and be able to get open. And actually, he's not able to get open. So we're going to just wait and see if someone X is going to come wide open right here. We had a lot of time in the pocket, so we just went ahead and waited. There's the passing touchdown. Just kick the extra point, keep it basic, don't do anything too crazy. Now we know we just need, I think it was 31 rushing yards. So what I'm going to do to make it easy is I just kick it out of bounds. That way we don't get the pick too close to the end zone. Even if you fall down and you get the pick, you were still 60 yards from the end zone, roughly on this, from where the ball is going to be spotted now because it'll go to the 40. So even if we got it back at the line of scrimmage, we'd be fine. But obviously they're going to throw it probably at least 8 to 10 yards at the minimum. So even if we fall down right here, which, yeah, that's about 12 yards. But now we know we can just fall down. And we have plenty of yards to work with. So I will go back to that single back, and I'm in the Raiders playbook just because people usually ask. But it really doesn't matter what playbook. Just find a play that you like. It looks like this left side has less defenders on it, so I'm just going to run it to the left side. You just have to hit one juke. And right there, I kind of hit or my guy got hit. It's not a big deal, though, because you don't have to score in one play. So right here, we'll just run it to the outside to the right. And we should be able to get the yards. I don't know if that's going to be enough. So that's 20 yards. We literally need 2 more yards. So I'm just going to hurry up. This way we're able to get it. And then we just need 2 more yards. So that's enough. We can go ahead and fall down. And boom, just like that, we got it done as well. So we know that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So right here, we're down by 7 in the third quarter. We need to score 1 passing, 1 rushing touchdown, and win the game. So this challenge does take a little bit longer, unfortunately. So, like I said, that's why we wanted to put 8 into one video, because even with 8, this might take like 20 to 25 minutes, just because this challenge is going to take longer. But I want to make sure we show you how to do it right away. And it's pretty easy. It's just the fact that you are going to have to take more time to do it. So it's pretty unfortunate in that way. Basically, all we're going to want to do is score passing, score rushing, and then get the ball back and then chew clock out, which that part's kind of annoying. I might even just skip the ending of it, to be honest, because I think you guys will get the point. So right here, we start on the 25. We need 1 rushing, 1 passing. I'm just going to stay in inside zone this game. I know I've been going single back for some of the other challenges, but I'm just going to stay in inside zone. That way I can run or pass and just do whatever I want. So we're just going to hit that hole right there. Le'Veon is going to be able to hit the outside, but he is going to get stopped, which is not a big deal. I don't really want to do that. If I didn't have to, I should have juked it better, but I kind of didn't give myself a lot of space out there. So right here, I'm still going to run it, even though it kind of looks like it might be... they might like break it or whatever, but it looks like we are able to hold up the blocks, get that rushing touchdown. So we're going to tie the game. And then boom, just like this, we will go ahead and kick it in. And then I will show you guys, like I said, how to get the ball back, what to do, or in scoring the touchdown and things like that. But I'm probably not going to chew out the whole fourth quarter on here just because it doesn't really make sense. And actually, you don't really want to kick it out of bounds right here, just because you don't need to. So I was kind of messed up because I was going to kick it out of bounds, but that's okay. You want to get the ball back however you can. If you can get it back on the kickoff by hitting a fumble, cool. Because whatever touchdown, it doesn't really matter if you score rushing or passing first. I personally just scored the rushing to get it over with. But whatever you score first, do the opposite on the next drive. So obviously, I need a passing touchdown. We get a pick. And it really doesn't matter. I'm just going to fall down at like the 20 probably, just because that gives me room to kind of run a couple different plays, whatever, PA crossers. I can still run levels Y corner or whatever the case is. So we're still going to go to the same formation. I'm going to start PA crossers. I think this is man. Randall has plus 13 speed out there, so I'm going to also put him on a streak just in case he beats the press really easily, which he does. So we'll just go ahead and dot him up in the end zone. And we complete the other challenge. So I'm just going to show you how to get the ball back real quick and what to do running backwards. But like I said, I won't show you the rest of the sim clock just because, that part is just basically run for 3-4 yards at a time. But we don't want to waste 6 or 7 minutes in this video doing it just because it is going to take a little bit longer. So right here, what you're going to do is kick it out of bounds. So just click X at the top and then click X right away. It'll kick out of bounds. And the reason we want to do that is so that way when we get the pick, we have enough yards to run the clock out, and they don't have any timeouts, so there's really nothing they can do. So right here, what we're going to do is base block right, and then you click audible, which is square, probably X on Xbox, I guess, and then click left on the D-pad once, and then boom, just like that. Then right here, we will be able to get the pick. I don't know if he's going to be considered down. Yeah, he's not considered down, but he is down. So now we know we can just chew out the clock and make it simple. So I will see you guys when we get back from the end of this one to go ahead and get to the next one. Because like I said, I don't want to waste your guys' time with just chew clock. Alright, so we just finished that 5-star on Across the Rainbow Bridge. It was 7-minute quarters too, so especially I was not going to show you that whole sim clock. That would just be a waste of time for everything. So in this one, score 3 passing touchdowns this half, don't allow more than 3 first downs, and don't pass more than 10 times. So it's actually a lot easier than it sounds with it not passing more than 3 times, so we will hop into this one. And the reason you just don't want to pass more than 3 times, or sorry, you don't want to pass more than 10 times. It's just you don't have to if you score in 1 or 2 plays per drive. Theoretically, you could take 3 plays per drive, but because we have the cheese defense where we can pretty much get the ball and run it back to like the 10-yard line, it really shouldn't take you that many, but it doesn't say 10 completions, it is 10 passes. So if you are throwing incomplete passes, keep that in mind. You technically have to go at least 3 for 10 on your passes, or on your touchdowns. If you look at it that way, 3 of 10 passes have to be touchdowns, but it shouldn't even take us 10 passes, to be honest. Just depends on where you end up with the ball. So right here, we are going to start on offense, and we're playing against the Steelers, so that's why it looks the same team. But basically, I'm just going to run a go route, and hopefully someone gets open. It doesn't look like this is a great defense to score 1 play, to be completely honest. Actually, it looks like we might be able to get right behind him with a manual. So boom, just like that. That is 1 touchdown. So right there, we already got 1 of the touchdowns, and that's only 1 pass. So don't do anything about passing on extra points or anything like that, because you will waste passes. So make sure you just kick it so that way you don't mess yourself up more. And we want the ball as close as possible, so we're not going to kick it out of bounds in this challenge. So what I'm going to do is sky kick it, and then we're going to kick it to the side. We're going to try to hit stick them. If we're not able to hit stick them, that's okay. We can just get the ball back on defense. It just costs us a little bit of time, but it doesn't actually cost us really anything. Right there, we do actually get the hit stick with Devin Bush, but it doesn't cause a fumble. So right here, we will go special teams base block right. So when we get this pick, we don't want to run backwards. I always check the speed first thing, just because I want to see how fast the person is out there so I can gauge it. Obviously, I am faster than pretty much everyone we're going to go against because of my Palomalu is like maxed out. But still, either way, you want to give it some space. And then right here, I fall out at the 10-yard line for passes. Sometimes it kind of depends on how you're feeling, how confident you are, what overall like levels you're doing and things like that. But in my opinion, if you start at the 10, you give yourself space. See, now Juju can do a go route. Ebron can even get this going with his like little corner route, but before he gets there, and it gives us the space to work with. If you start on the goal line, like I did in the other challenge, if it's not open right away, you might have to buy time, try to get a pass, or whatever. You can, if sometimes the quick slants work on the goal line, but if you start from like the 10 or 15, I find it to be easier, to be honest, especially if your team's worse. I think it would actually be easier. So right here, that's already 2 touchdowns, and we can see it's literally not taking much time at all. We're going to sky kick it once again. I always try to hit the blockers. So what I try to do is make Franco hit the blockers. They keep doing return left into it. So that's why they have all those blockers over there. So we're not able to get it as much. But we're going to do the same thing. And if I can, I will fall out at the 10 once again. But we know we still have, I think, 8 completions or 8 passes to go ahead and score a touchdown. So we're going to go ahead and get this pick. Kind of got a bad angle because Troy is going to fall down. So we start at the 40, but we still have 8 passes, so I'm not really worried. I'm pretty sure I could score in a couple plays. Even if I get an incomplete pass or something like that, I would still be fine. Right here, it looks like they're going to be a man. He's going to come out wide open on the other side because Juju's going to run right by him as long as we get that block. And actually, Juju wasn't really that open, but Emmanuel's still going to be open. So right there, either way, it's perfectly fine. We're going to go ahead and get those 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right here, Royal Blue Dream. Don't allow any points this drive. Don't allow more than 2 completed passes. Don't allow more than 45 yards. This one's super simple as well. All we're literally going to want to do is just go ahead and field goal block cheese, get the pick, and get it over with. Even if it's the 4th quarter on a lot of these challenges, you can still try it. It's just not as accurate. But in any other corner, it usually works like 90-95% of the time. You just have to bait it correctly. I know a lot of people say, how do you do it? They always complete the passes, but it's really just about getting good at it, and that's going to come from practice. I've done it probably, I don't even know, 1,000 times at least in this game. I pretty much do it on every solo battles, whatever the case is. So I do it a lot. So it's second nature, and I also have a very fast team. If you don't have that fast of a team, it will be a little bit harder. So since it's third quarter, we can go field goal block right, click triangle, and then I click square, or it's probably X on Xbox, punt safe man, which is left on the D-pad. And then I always take the outside receiver, which it's usually this side, but sometimes they do go to this other side, which right here, I have fast corners, so they're able to keep up and a lot of times get a pick. But right here, you know, if they don't have a receiver on the right side, then I'll go to the left side. But if they have a receiver on the right side, that's usually the side I'll start on, just because I do have a lurker on Troy. We see them lining up to throw it, and Troy didn't react, so obviously I was there. Troy didn't react, so I'm just going to replay it. The good news about this challenge is if you're doing it correctly, it really should take you like a minute. Obviously, Troy just didn't react right there, so that's why I didn't get the pick, because I was standing right there. But if that happens, luckily, just restart it, and it really should only take you like another play. And right there we go. Now he gets a pick. And then we want them to tackle us. We don't actually want to get up right there. And just like that, there's another 5-star. So 1, 2, 3. Once you see that middle star in the middle, you already know you got it. So don't allow more than 40 rushing yards this quarter, pass for 75 yards, and then get a sack. So what we want to do is get a sack, pass for the yards, and then chew the clock. But you can kind of chew the clock while you pass for the yards. That's the good part about it, is you don't have to. You could pass for the yards, score a touchdown, something like that, and then get the ball back. But you don't have to. You can definitely chew the clock out and then get the 75 with like under a minute left, just to make it close. It depends on how confident you are in it. So we will go ahead and do it right here. And like I said, these challenges do take a little bit longer as well. So it's kind of annoying, some of these, but it is what it is. So right here, don't allow more than 40 rushing yards. And they make these 7-minute quarters, which I don't like that. I think that was kind of messed up that they did it. So right here, what we want to do first, since they have the ball, is get a sack. We want to get a sack, but then we want to get the ball back on like our 9-yard line, because that'll make it the easiest for us. So right here, we're going to go ahead and make that tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And we can't allow 40 rushing yards, which that shouldn't be an issue. I run pinch bug 0 out of 3-4 odd. You can run whatever blitz you want. I always click show blitz. That way they are on the outside. Hopefully they pass it. We are going to be able to get that sack, but we don't want to get the ball. So I'm trying to pull them away. That obviously doesn't work. So since that didn't work, what I'm actually going to do, which I know it's kind of weird, but I don't want to score a touchdown. And the reason is because if I score a touchdown, then I have to actually do kickoffs and things like that. I give them the ball back, right? And the reason I did that is basically I don't have to do an extra point in kickoff, so it actually saves us time, because I really didn't need to get those 9 yards. Obviously, you could if you wanted to. Personally, though, I'm trying to get a pick and go backwards so then I can get the yards. And right here, they're not actually going to run a play, so that's super unfortunate. Either way, we could still get a stop, even if you get 3 stops, basically. You could still go ahead. If they don't get 10 yards on their drive, you can just get the punt, and that works just the same. We want them to throw it, which, like I said, they're not running the play, so we'll try it one more time. But if they don't run it again, if they don't run go routes again, then we'll probably just have to get 3 stops, and I'll just show you how to do that. For whatever reason, the Cardinals just don't feel like running a go route right now. Finally, they do run a go route, and Troy just drops it. So for whatever reason, they are having issues. And like I said, sometimes, depending on the solo challenge, it does like glitch it out a little bit. It's not usually like that. Right there, we do get a stop as well on 2nd down. So what I'm just going to do, honestly, is run gun cover 2 man. We're just going to pass rush it like normal. We're just going to try to get a stop here. Basically, we're just going to try to get a stop and let it go to 4th down. We want him to dump it down if possible, or do that. That way, we are able to get the ball back. The reason I go cover 2 man right in that situation is I just think it's a lot better. If you play zone, sometimes they can catch it between your zones if they get enough time. So this kind of works the same. Obviously, we wanted to do the field goal block cheese, but for whatever reason, it isn't working on this solo. So we know we need 70 passing yards. So I'm going to start on like the 4-yard line, 5-yard line. That way, I can still get 70 passing yards and still have time to run out the clock. So I'm going to turn on chew clock. I am going to try to pick up like 10 yards per play, but I'm not in a huge rush, because if I have to, I can run PA crossers, get a lot of yards towards the end. So I am just going to try to get normal yards. I'm not going to only try to get like 4 yards, but I'm not going to try to get a ton of yards either. So 15 yards right there. We know we're 16 out of the 75. But like I said, we still have a lot of yards to go. So we know they're probably going to run like a man right here as well. So it is man. Juju is going to get open, but we don't want to go out of bounds. So make sure you try to stay in bounds and fall down. There's 31 out of 75. So right here, I'm going to run a go route. Even though I know it's man, I'm confident in Juju catching that in front of him. You could also just run a quick slant if it's man right there and catch it. The levels Y corner. This doesn't look like man because the safety is a little bit further. I could be wrong. Ebron's going to come open. I also could throw it to Le'Veon and get yards there. But Ebron's fine. I need 18 yards by the end of this quarter. But we can see I've already ran down a lot of clock, which is super beneficial. So right there, we are going to get about 10, actually 15, 16 more yards the way Juju fell. So we need 2 more passing yards. And then we just need to run out the corner because we already got the sack. We don't need to, we don't have to give up any yards or because we're on offense, so we're not worried about that. So since this one is a little bit of a longer one, I definitely advise checking it. The shorter ones I'm not too worried about because you're going to get the 5-star just by like getting a pick. But right here, want to make sure we both have green and then don't allow the 40 yards. That's the main objective. Not a big deal. We'll just run inside zone. And we know we just need to run 2 more plays. So I'm going to want to get a first down because you don't want it to go to 4th down just because this Excel clock doesn't go as fast. Right there, we get the first down. So we know we're good now. As long as we don't get hit stick fumbled or something crazy. This quarter's over. Let's hand it off, fall down, and then chew the clock and get out of here. So once again, this one takes a little bit longer, unfortunately. But this one you do have to actually, I did want to show the video on this because this one you do actually have to do it. It's not as much of just chewing clock. It's more of actually completing passes. So right there, we know we got the 5-star once again. And then the new Bengals scored 3 touchdowns by the 4th quarter, score 2 rushing, and score a passing. So once again, this one will take longer just in terms of doing it, but it's not necessarily going to be hard. We just have to score those 3 touchdowns as fast as possible because we only have like 5 minutes to work with. So hopefully it doesn't glitch again and not let us do the field goal block cheese. But I believe it's a 2 rushing and a passing. So we're going to want to do the rushing first, and then we will do the passing on the 3rd drive and go ahead and get that over with. So as soon as it loads up, we will go ahead and get that going. So scored 3 touchdowns by the 4th quarter. 2 of them rushing, 1 of them passing. Right here, we just want to rush it in first. I'm just going to run it out of this formation, but I do want to put levels Y corner as my substitute. So we know we need 2 rushing. Let's go ahead and get the first one right here, if possible. We're going to run it outside. Actually, Le'Veon's going to be able to hit that hole, and we're a lot faster than him, so we're able to get in pretty easily. So there's 1 of the 3. And if you're not going for all the stars, I guess you don't really have to. You could run whatever you want. For whatever reason, they're telling me to go for 2. So I'm just gonna hike it. It doesn't really matter if I score or not. So right here, we don't want to go back a lot anymore, like we said before, because we want to score quickly. So we're not gonna kick it out of bounds. We're gonna sky kick it, and right here, hopefully Franco gets blocked by this guy, and Devin Bush is able to hit stick, which I do hit stick, but not enough to actually go ahead and get the ball. So we're going to start in the base block right and switch it. And hopefully this isn't glitched like it was for the Cardinals one, which it doesn't look like it is right off the bat. But apparently Troy is having issues getting picks right now. Right here, as soon as Eifert runs it, we're going to get that pick, and we're going to run it back to like the 10 probably once again because we do want to get a rushing touchdown, but we don't want to, start too far. You don't want to start too close, but not too far, in my opinion. About the 10-yard line is a pretty good spot for myself, in my opinion, just because it gives you room to kind of get upfield. Also, you could run it in with Vic or a running quarterback if that's what you want to do, but I'm confident in my running team. But if you could always drop back and then just run it that way, it still counts as a rushing touchdown. There's the 2 rushing touchdowns. Now we just need a passing touchdown. And we can see we pretty much taken no time off the clock, which is super beneficial because you have about 6 minutes to do it or whatever it is. but time could go fast if you're not able to get the ball back. If they have the ball in their hands, time could go fast. Right here, Franco, we're going to try to get him blocked so that Devin Bush can hit stick, which he does hit stick, but once again, it doesn't matter. We don't get the ball back. Right here, we're going to do the same thing. Boom, get a pick. We go down to the 10-yard line, but we know we need a passing touchdown right here to go ahead and end it. And like I said, for this one, once again, if you don't want to take too much time or have to redo it, make sure that is the challenge goal. Make sure you didn't do 1 and 1. So score a passing touchdown. That will be our 3rd touchdown. Obviously, if you're maybe not focused and you've been watching TV or something, you might forget. If you scored a rushing or passing, just check it. Then right here, Ebron comes open. We're going to go ahead and throw it to him. And just like that, boom, that's the first 8 done. That'll be 5 stars as well. So definitely let me know in the comments down below with any more questions. I know, like I said, this is really long. I think it was like almost going to be 30 minutes just for the first 8. So, they do take really long to do. So that's just something to keep in mind. But that being said, drop a like on the video if you do enjoy them. Subscribe, turn on that post notification bell. And as always, I will see you next time.